Right now at 6, another winter weather threat prompts a new state of emergency.
So we've got to be prepared just in case we do see a significant snow event.
Why there's uncertainty tonight over how much snow could fall. Plus,
basically, we were told to come out with our hands up.
Police raid a large homeless camp in northeast Portland, leading to more than 24 arrests. And
the car is going above the speed limit. It will be able to change the traffic signal into a red light.
The new plan to put the brakes on speeders on one of Portland's deadliest streets.
Good evening, everyone. David Mulco here along with China Green. It is 39 degrees in the Rose City on this Wednesday night with much of our area under a winter weather advisory as we keep an eye on a cold, hard rain, which in some spots has already turned to snow.
Let's get right to Chief Meteorologist Matt Sfino in the Weather Center. What is the latest?
Okay, China, thanks so much. For most of us, it's just going to be a cold rain, but if you get a little bit of elevation, that's where we may see some sticking snow. In Portland right now, 40 at the airport, east winds, and that east wind is going to be with us for a couple days now. You look at the rainfall that we had today, and it wasn't very heavy, only 607 at the airport. We had about the same amount downtown, a little bit more in Hillsborough and down in McMinnville, but what we really needed to see was heavy rain for a sustained period of time to bring the snow level all the way down to the valley floor, and we have not seen that, and I don't think we're going to, even though we'll get more rain overnight tonight. So without that heavy precipitation, there's just not enough cooling going on in the atmosphere to bring the snow level all the way down to the valley floor. Now, there's snow in the Coast Range, you bet. Ton of snow in the Cascades and even the Gorge where there is some cooler air pooled, but for the valleys, again, cold rain is the message here. We'll begin to see more precipitation roll in later on tonight. So here's our snowfall forecast as we go through the nighttime hours into the day tomorrow. Heavy amounts in the Gorge and in the Cascades, incredible amounts there. But as we look at the Portland area closer, look at the West Hills. Now there's a little bit of snow. You see that little tongue of blue coming down to the West Hills, then also over towards the Portland area east of I-205. A little bit of snow, but for the most of us, we will not see sticking snow. It's not going to be a traffic problem or a problem for the morning commute tomorrow. So I think we're going to dodge the bullet on this one fairly well. So above 500 feet, anywhere from a dusting or a trace to up to an inch of snow. That can happen overnight tonight, early tomorrow morning. East of I-205, as much as 2 inches, and in fact, that becomes far more certain, 2 inches plus as you go into the Gorge. May get a foot of snow in parts of the Gorge and feet of snow coming to the Cascades. More on that later, guys. Back to you.
A lot to watch. Thank you, Matt. Meanwhile, Multnomah County has now declared a state of emergency to prepare for whatever comes our way.
Alma McCarty joins us live in Gresham from one of the shelters set to open tonight. Alma.
Yeah, David, China, Multnomah County is going to be adding additional shelter beds to its all year round shelter that is on Southeast Market Street. That all begins at 8 o'clock tonight. Also at 8 o'clock tonight, the county will be opening up 4 additional shelter sites, including the one, like you mentioned, here behind me, Cook Plaza off of Southeast Stark Street in Gresham. Now, earlier today, the county said that they are prepared to keep them open at least through 10 a.m. tomorrow and could keep them open longer should conditions necessitate that. Meantime, PBOT's keeping an eye on the roads, of course, staffing up overnight to make sure that they can handle any accumulation from the weather event. Now, this is not at this point an all hands on deck situation like the last storm we saw last month, but spokesperson Dylan Rivera tells me that they can scale up if they need to.
We feel like this is the right response given the forecast and the level of uncertainty. Everyone should take precaution and make a plan for how you'll respond if we do see snow and ice.
Now, part of that response, he says, is possibly delaying or avoiding travel if the route that you are traveling on has ice or snow. Back to you.
Alma McCarty reporting live from Gresham. Thank you, Alma. Stay with us for continuing coverage of this winter weather on air and online. You can find the latest forecast and alerts on KGW.com, on KGW Plus, and on our app and social media pages.
All right, let's get to your headlines now. Starting with breaking news, we continue to follow out of Kansas City, where at least 1 person is dead and 21 others hurt in a shooting after the Chiefs' Super Bowl victory parade. We have now learned the person who died was a popular radio personality and a mother of 2. Police say 9 of the others who were shot are children. At least 8 people suffered life-threatening injuries. Hospital officials say all the injured kids should survive. Authorities also say they now have 3 people in custody. The shooting at a rally near the city's main train station came as players and coaches were on buses headed back to the stadium. No word on a motive, but officials caution they do not believe this was terrorism. We'll keep you posted.
Back in the Northwest, the man accused of killing his fiancée and leaving her body in a car in Skamania County appeared in court today. 33-year-old John French was arraigned in Multnomah County on murder charges in the death of his fiancée, Jeannie Enyart. During the hearing this morning, Enyart's family said that they will attend every hearing. They say that they hope French is locked away for a long time.
We're not going to stop fighting. We're not going to give up. We're going to be here every single day there's a court hearing, and we're going to fight against this person who took my mother's life away.
French's next court date is set for late March.
Oregon's largest school district is cutting its budget by $30 million and slashing its reserves to the minimum required balance. For months now, Portland Public Schools has said that it would have to make significant budget cuts after agreeing to a new contract with teachers in November. Officials say that new deal will cost $175 million over 3 years. So some parents are now concerned the cuts, 50% of which will happen at schools, will negatively impact education.
Our kids shouldn't be the ones to suffer for the decisions that adults make.
It is unclear right now how many jobs might be lost. For example, workers at Kellogg Middle School confirmed to KGW that the district notified them they will be directly affected.
Tigard police say they've arrested a man who burglarized dozens of storage units in the area over the last 2 years. 57-year-old Timothy Council was arrested last week at a storage facility in Tualatin after a lengthy investigation. Detectives then got search warrants for several units rented by Council. Inside, they say they found piles of stolen property, including things like kitchen appliances, music equipment, sporting goods, bikes, power tools, other things. And coming up tonight at 11, we'll have more on what police are doing to help people reclaim their stuff. Police raided a large homeless camp in Northeast Portland this week, detaining dozens of people after shootings and complaints of open drug use on a patch of private property.
As Blair Best found out, it's a camp that's been causing community unrest for months.
This is what starting over looks like.
Right now on short notice, it's a way to carry a lot of stuff.
For those living in this homeless camp off Northeast 148th and Cooch.
It's honestly really embarrassing living like this.
Tuesday morning, Portland police raided the site. It's private property and they had a warrant based on community complaints.
Basically, we were told to come out with their hands up.
Yeah, they were standing on the perimeter with rifles all spread out.
Portland police say about 20 people ran when they got there. Officers detained 30 others and arrested 12 for outstanding warrants.
I ended up falling asleep while I was handcuffed on the curb.
Byron and others were warned if they were caught on the private property again, they would be arrested for criminal trespassing.
So when authorities came through here, it appears that they've numbered each tent, and from what we can see, there's more than 30 tents in this single lot.
There was just a lot of bad things going on, you know, there's shootings and there's been fights and it's been loud and rampant, drug use.
It was hard not to step on used fentanyl foils covering the ground. Police confirmed 2 recent shootings there.
This is out of control, out of control.
It brings this woman to tears.
I'm sorry.
Trying to apologize.
Her parents live next door.
Well, my parents are old, and they got people peeking in their windows and doing drugs out front. There's a handprint on the wall here where one night they caught him peeking in the window here from the camp.
I wish the state would help the people find a place to live so this wouldn't happen.
Police say outreach workers were there Tuesday.
No, they don't help with housing, nothing. They like to say that they help, that they'll give you resources and stuff. They never do.
It's up to the property owner to clean the lot, and we're told they plan to put up fences to keep homeless people out.
So what's your plan now?
Pick up, and just try to find a safe place and just keep on going. That's what we always do.
What they always do. Blair, this sweep was a bit different than some you've covered because it is private property. You mentioned police told you housing outreach workers were on site there. Did they help anyone?
Well, David, all 30 people they detained were offered shelter services and 8 expressed interest. Now, it's unclear how many actually took them up on that offer. I also want to point out that police say their work at that site is not done. Until the property owner can get a cleanup crew there, they will continue to do extra patrols. David.
Thank you, Blair. Straight ahead on KGW News at 6, a local town votes on whether to oust its mayor and most of its council. What prompted this recall election that is now too close to call.
And cracking down on speeders on some of our most dangerous streets. How PBOT plans to do it with the help of traffic lights.
And coming up on the story, lawmakers in Oregon and Washington are considering bills that would ban book bans. It's a hot topic for local schools and families. Tonight, Evan Watson hears from people for and against a ban of a ban. It's coming up at 6:30 on The Story.